Hey. Hey, guys. Ugh, what happened? No, because the thing is, okay, hold on. Shut up. First of all, I'm going to say what happened. I can say what happened, guys. What happened? How did this? He's a felon. He's a felon. And we know who I'm talking about. But I know it wasn't you. If it was you, you better get away from me immediately. I swear to hoot and heck. If you did, or you didn't even, or you were lazy, and therefore you didn't decide to go in and vote. But I know that it wasn't you. If it was, you are not welcome. But I know that it wasn't you. And so there's no point me saying, hey, guys, what happened? Because we don't know. Now, I'm shaking. No. The thing is, I don't even live there. Oh, I'm speaking very cryptically. And maybe I should for the rest of the episode, because it's like, if you know, you know. Do you know what I mean? I don't even live there. So it doesn't affect me, but it does though, because technically we're allies. So technically if Mr. Big Yellow Cheeto decided to, I don't know, go to war, also makes me very scared for Palestine. But okay. Lighter note, there isn't one. No, there is. On the bright side, I've got nothing. I have nothing. But, well, okay. Should we just... Why do I feel dead in my brain? Anyway, today I'm going to talk about what's recently happened. It is crazy, actually, because I'm going to New York on Sunday. But that's a blue state. So, you know, but I'm going to New York on Sunday, and there's a new president that's going to be in January, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Not too heavy because, you know, the news didn't work out how we wanted. Do you know what I mean? But we're going to talk about it. But anyway, this is an Ayame We Trust. This is my podcast. I'm the Ayame. You trust me, apparently. And this podcast is available most places. And on YouTube. Let's get to it. Now, I woke up this morning and the sky was grey. Now, that's not news because the sky's usually grey. I live in London. Now, the sky's usually grey when you wake up. It's usually grey. It's usually muggy. I like it personally. But there was an energy in the air. And I knew the results before I even looked at my phone. And I Googled US election results. And it was confirmed. Technically, because there's a thing that doesn't make sense about you guys, okay? And it's not to shout at you guys because I know it's not your decision, but what do you mean we win the overall votes? Because this is what happened with Hillary. Where she won the overall votes, but like numbers-wise, she won numbers-wise, but then because of, it's to do with slavery. Found that out. Really back. Basically, because of how your voting works, you have to, is it the electoral vote? Popular vote and the electoral vote. One of those. And she'd won the popular vote, which means she's got the most numbers, but she hadn't won the electoral vote because there's certain states that have like more power. Or they have like, if you have more votes in that specific state, you get like a load of points. And however many points you get at the end, you win. But it's based on, back in the day, which states had the most number of slaves. So the states with the high... Yeah, girl. So the states... This is why America... You're fucked. You guys are literally messed up. And I know it's not you, guys. You guys are fucked. Because the states, the electoral... Whatever the vote was, the states that had the highest number of slaves have a higher... what's the word? Have a higher, I guess, point system when it comes to the electoral vote. And obviously those states to this day are the ones that are inherently racist. The Bible belts as well. And they're usually the southern states. Florida as well. Florida's a big one. If you win Florida, then... But who got Florida? Let's have a double check. I don't really know how politics works. Bear with. I'm Googling it now. US election rule. My Google... We won't go through it. Oh, she did... Oh, he's won. He's won. He's officially won. Because when I woke up this morning, it was 267. He had 267 and he had to get 270 to win. He's on 277. He's won. But yeah, Florida. Florida is one of the bigger ones. Oh, Cam. It's okay. But anyway, my Google search history is US election results. Ben Barnes. Albums of 2020. Things that happened in 2020. Ben Barnes' wife. Because I don't know if he has a wife. He doesn't, apparently. But here's the thing. Because I want to run through today things that have happened. Because, yes, it's sad. It is sad because it's sad for us. Obviously, the MAGAs, is that the name of them? They're bloody shooting their guns to the sky because I know they have guns. And it's sad and it's scary because that's scary, especially as a woman, that is scary. But in times like these, and I'm going to say this in a really jokey way, but I mean it so seriously. In times like these, you really have to hold on to the light. And that sounds really like Marvel, like that scene with Captain America where his like shield is broken and he's like, yeah, 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 yeah. And he stood and he's like, I'm going to fight all by myself. You have to really remain full of light in these dark times. These are dark times ahead. You know what? What's his name? In Harry Potter? But the guy that became the Minister of Magic. You've never seen Harry Potter? Okay. Oh, we almost went left there. The guy that Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill Nye, the actor, the English actor, and he's in Love Actually, and he's the one that says, "If you really love Christmas," the old guy, him, Bill Nye. Anyway, him. What was I talking about? These are dark times ahead. Because there are dark times ahead. But 2 points. Firstly, we've got to stay positive and we've got to stay full of light and we've got to stay grateful and we've got to fight darkness with light. Because one thing we're not going to do, and I'm saying we as if I'm there, but one thing we're not going to do is storm the Capitol. Because that was embarrassing what they did. They're losers. And that's what we're not going to do. We're going to be the light. And one thing we're not going to do is be just full of hatred, because these people are full of hate. So why would we then be full of hate to combat them? You can't fight hate with hate. That's my advice for someone that doesn't live there, especially because I don't live there. So I'm able to give advice so freely. Do you see how that works? God, it's awful. But secondly, and it may feel like, all right, Ayame, but it is only 4 years. And that feels like a long time. It is a big space of time, but it's a temporary piece of time. And he was president in 2016. I remember when he was voted in. I had just moved to Canada. I'd just moved to Toronto in 2016 when he'd just been voted in. Well, I moved in October, and then the month later, me and my aunt were watching. She was obsessed with it. She was like, put it on, put the election on, go on CNN. She was really obsessed with it. And obviously I was just this British girl who didn't really care about the US elections. And I was like, right, can we just watch, I don't know, Desperate Housewives? But she put it on and we were obsessed and he won. And I thought, she was panicky because we were like, well, I thought to myself, I just moved to Canada. I'm right here. I'm literally, they're here, I'm here. And did my life change? In the 4 years, I mean, it could have been maybe better. But the 4 years passed, is what I'm trying to say. And the 4 years will pass. And there's a large amount of people that want it to pass so heavily. So I think there's always the thing of don't lose hope in that. As I said, when it comes to Palestine, because obviously we all know he doesn't give a frick, but we do. And we will continue to give a frick. We will continue to give a frick about the things that he doesn't give a frick about. And It will take time. It will take effort. It will take strength. It will take purity of heart. But good always fights evil. All right? Thanos defeated. Voldemort defeated. Snow, Hunger Games, defeated. That other one that Kate Winslet played, defeated. Good will always defeat evil. Goodness and purity of heart will always shine through. Whether it takes 4 years, 10 years, 6 months, it will always shine through. And therefore, you have to kind of keep that hope up. So let's run through everything that happened in 2020. Because that was 4 years ago. And because I was thinking, 4 years, it's a long piece of our time. But 4 years ago, Ariana Grande released Positions. Switching my positions for banger. 4 years ago. And look at that. Time has passed. What else happened 4 years ago? I screenshotted it, didn't I? Hold on. Albums that came out 4 years ago. Charlie XCX. Go on.
Missed more album, Big Steppers, or was that 21?
Big Steppers?
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh.
I think that was 21 though.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know it. You. Kendrick Lamar. I love Kendrick. I do love Kendrick. He's better than Drake. That's all I'll say. There was another one I saw that I was like, oh my God, that was 4 years ago. Positions. Oh, Jay Huss released Big Conspiracy in 2020. What? 4 years. Gone. Savage Mode. Oh, Twice as Tall by Burna Boy. Oh, within the space of here's how quick 4 years goes. Within the space of 4 years. Yeah, I was in a relationship for 2 years within the space of the 4 years and broke up and then have been single for a year. Within 4 years. Time flies. 3 years. See? You might not want to keep that in there, but it's up to you whether you want that personal life shared. Time flies when you're having fun. It won't be fun. What else happened in 2020? Oh, Harry and Meghan decided to leave the royal family 4 years ago. COVID happened there's fluff everywhere. This scarf. COVID happened 4 years ago. We were literally in the midst of a pandemic 4 years ago. And now look, we're not. Do you know what I mean? So it's bleak. It's bleak right now because it's just happened. But when we look back in 2028, I'll be 30. I'll be 31. I'll be 31. I think that's worse than the results today. I'll be 31 in 2028. When we look back, and I'm going to keep this clip as a little time capsule. 2028 Ayame and 2028 listeners. I won't be doing this for 4 years, love and light. But when we look back, we'll think, oh God, remember when we were so scared? I remember when Trump first got in, and this is when he spoke about fondling that woman. A lot has happened since. He is a felon. But I remember when he first got in and we thought, how? The same feelings as today. How? He literally fondled a woman, spoke about sexually harassing women, and people want him as their leader. And look, time passed. And then we got Joe Biden. He was senile. We should have done something about that at the time. But time flies. Prime ministers come and go. And we've got Keir Starmer now, who's the lesser of two evils. I also didn't realise that you can vote for more than one person. Not more than one person. Like, it's not just Kamala and Trump. There's other parties. Didn't know that. Green Party, right? Anyway. What else happened in 2020? What happened for me in 2020? I feel like I'd have to go through my Snapchat. I was dating a felon in 2020. I had a dream about him the other night as well. Maybe that's why. You can't Google search whether I was dating a felon in 2020. It won't come up. I think I was dating 2020. I was in Gambia in 2021. Yeah, 2021. I went to Gambia. That's where I met my ex. So we were in 2020 and I was dating a felon that year. He's back in jail now. He's back in jail. What else was I doing? What else was I doing in 2020? I was an estate agent in 2020. Big slay. But time flies. What else is there? Also, apparently Beyonce released visuals for the election. She made a video about the election. This is what my manager said to me. She's a big Beyonce fan. She wanted me to include it because she wants me to talk about Beyonce. But, thank you, Beyonce, though. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Although, really and truly, it did nothing. She still lost. And you kind of just did that to promote yourself. But anyway, what else is happening? Hold on, stay there. Oh, okay. No. Okay, hold on. Oh, okay. So this is nothing to do with Kamala. But I went to, here it is. Oh yeah, 2020 events. I went to Berlin over the weekend, and just before I went, I applied to adopt a dog. It's a little pup, and I got accepted. And so when I get back from New York on Sunday, we're going to see, Kobe Bryant died in 2020. Sorry, but you know what I mean? What else happened? Parasite won an Oscar. Have you ever seen Parasite? Oh, for fuck's sake. Harvey Weinstein got convicted in 2020. See? Good things and bad things happen each year. Oh, Chadwick. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, bear with them. Oh, there's a trans member of Congress. Slay! What, on Trump's side? Or how does member of Congress work? Let me Google her. Sarah McBride. Oh, she won. I don't know how this works. So then, but she's blue. I don't know. Oh, she's 34. Anyway, I'll be 30. Oh no, 31. I'll be 31. Personal wins is what I'm saying. Personal wins, trans member of Congress. And then the albums. What else was I going to say? Long story short, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do, and the only way out is through. We have to survive these 4 years. And after the 4 years is up, we'll say, oh, what a kooky time. I will say, as a Brit, I'm kind of looking at you and laughing. But we were also there. You know what I mean? We had that weirdo. And then we had the weirdo after him. Now we have another weirdo, but he's just less weird. Still quite weird though. Didn't he raise taxes? This episode's a long one. I don't know what else to say other than the fact that Trump is now president of the United States of America again. So, do you know what I mean? No, not so. What else is there to talk about? I have nothing else to talk about. I have nothing else to talk about. Why is Elon Musk involved? Well, that's not even a big question because he's stupid. He's literally a dumbass. Elon Musk. This is the whole thing, because the more I talk about it, the more I don't want to, the thing is, I don't want to talk about it like, oh, why was Elon Musk involved? Why would you vote someone in that was just insulting Puerto Rico, which is literally part of the US now, against their will? But you know what I mean? Like, it's one of your, why would you do that? Why would you vote in a felon? Like, I don't want to go into that because it's sad. Because we're just going to get annoyed about the fact that that not even you, but the US, that we now have this person. And I don't want to be negative. Because we're just fighting it with negativity. There's not much we can do. I remember 2016 when Trump got voted in. They have to do the next morning, the handshake, and it's like, oh, congratulations, you won. Kamala will do it this morning between her and Trump. And I remember Hillary Clinton looked dead inside. Her eyes were like grey. She'd obviously been up the whole night. She was crying. You could tell she'd been crying. She looked dead inside. And I thought, oh, baby. But I don't think Kamala will do that. Well, no, we'll find out. But I think she'll look really like blow-dried and be like, you're still a dick. I'm looking at you and talking to you, but these are my cameras. Anyway, one of my gems just fell off. Oh, this is what happens when you vote Trump as president. One of the gems just fell off on my phone. Pretty Girl Slay is officially over. Oh! Oh! No, Pretty Girl Slay will never die. You will never defeat Pretty Girl Slay. Trump. Stupid bitch. Imagine if Trump ever watches this. And then he's like, oh, she called me a stupid bitch. Right. Immediately, I'm going to shout at you. Immediately. Because what you'll see, okay, when you submit, okay, oh, sorry, actually, let me do a transition first. Now moving on to agonies. Right. When you fill in the agonies online, it says fake name. This prick has put LR. Now, did I say put your initials? No. I said, give me a fake name. You could have said Louise Rickard. You could have said Lillian Rhinestone. You didn't. You put LR like a prick. But I'll still read your message. Dear Ayame, girl, let me tell you, the past few months have been an absolute shambles. Well, it's about to get worse. No. I ended a year-long relationship just over a month ago after months of manipulation and emotional damage, and I'm just beginning to navigate single life again. Welcome to hell. No, single life is actually quite lovely because you really, okay. Should I read the rest of this or just carry on talking about myself? I'll just talk about myself. I have found in this year of me being single, it is such a pleasure to not have to think about someone else. It is such a pleasure. It is such a pleasure to not have to worry about, I mean, I'm not speaking on behalf of people that are in good relationships where they're in like this meaningful thing where they both think of each other and think of each other well and put each other first and it just works harmoniously. Not talking about that. I'm talking about you've just got out of a relationship where you've very much been people-pleasing. And it's such a pleasure to not have to be a people-pleaser for the person that's supposed to people-please you back, and they don't. Do you know what I mean? It's just lovely to just put yourself first. There you go. That's the point. It's been so lovely to spend a year thinking, what does Ayame want to do? Regardless of whether Ayame will get in trouble with her other half. Get in trouble is crazy. I'm 27. But what does Ayame want to do? That is a real blessing, I'll tell you. So welcome to single life. Welcome to putting yourself first life. Okay. Lots of my friends are also now starting to get into relationships, and obviously I'm getting to hear about it. It's not that great. They'll probably break up in a few years. Anyway, don't get me wrong. I love my girls and always want to know they're happy, but it is low-key giving me FOMO. I mean, they talk about sex, and I can't help feeling like I'm missing out. That's one point. We won't get into that, but let's get ready for hell. Have you got a vibrator? You've got a vibrator? Get yourself a vibrator and it will be fine. It won't be fine. It'll be better than shit. It'll be better than shit. It will be like a good... Get yourself a vibrator. Dildo if you must. Yeah, them. I know I'll... Oh, she's a virgin. I know I'll never lose my virginity just because everyone else is, but I can't help the feeling. I also found out his grandfather died the day I finally blocked him and can't help feeling awful for it. His grandfather would have died anyway. Love and light. That granddaddy would have died whether you were together or not. Life happens. Get over it. I just wanted to know what you did to help you heal after your breakup. Oh, I admire you and wish to become as strong and beautiful as you are. Lots and lots of love for you in the pod. Thank you for everything you do. I shouted at you for your shit name. Oh, babe. That was really lovely. Well, I'll say you'll never be beautiful. Wait, hold on. Hold on. You'll never be as strong and beautiful as I am, because I am strong and beautiful as I am, if that makes sense. You'll be as strong and beautiful as you are. See that? Poetry, baby. How did I heal after my breakup? Well, let me think about that. There are still moments where I think, oh, maybe I haven't healed yet. Like, I still feel like, especially because my relationship, and we won't get into it because it's still kind of private. You know what I mean? I'm not going to air out my full laundry. But my relationship was a bit, it had elements of trauma. We won't get into the trauma, but it had elements of it. And so I still feel like not a lot of the time, but there are moments where my brain kind of taps back into that. And I'm like, oh, remember that. Oh, you know what I mean? And I'm seeing how I behave now, and I'm like, oh, that's probably because of that. And I kind of still have to, even as the year has passed, have to work through it. I don't know why I'm wrapping myself up like Mother Mary. It's a bit cold in this place. But someone would come and warm me up. No. What was I saying? Trauma. Oh, thank you. Trauma. I feel like my nose is blocked. Anyway, so I feel as though I've healed. I feel like I healed quite soon after, in that I was over it quite soon after we'd broken up, because I'd already said to myself, oh, I'm done. Like, maybe like a month or so before, because I feel like as women, we break up before we actually officially break up. You know what I mean? But how did I become beautiful and strong? Well, I'll tell you about my skincare. No. How did I heal? You've got to know that however it happened, and it happened the way it was supposed to happen, in the whole spiritual, like, things go the way they're supposed to go, but also it happened the way it's supposed to happen because it happened that way. And let me break that down, because I feel as though that's one thing that I've really fully take as a big piece of advice for myself. But when I say it like that, it doesn't actually make sense. It didn't happen, like, it wasn't meant to happen that way because, you know, the signs of the universe puts things into place to make things happen in a certain way. What's that saying where it's like if it's meant to be, it'll be, that kind of thing. Like, if you love them, let them go. If they're meant for you, they'll come back, kind of shit. That kind of, it happened that way because that's how the universe had put it into place, and it was never meant for you. I believe that, but more so I believe it happened that way because factually it happened that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no other way that it could have gone, because that's the way it went. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, oh, maybe we were meant to be together. No, because if we're not together. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe I should have, if I was meant to break up with him the day before his granddad died, then maybe that's what I meant to do. No, his granddad died that day because his granddad died that day. It was meant to happen because it happened. Do you know what I mean? R.I.P. to his granddad. Hope he's well. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. I hope not. Anyway. Fuck. So that's how I stay strong in my decisions of, like, knowing that I've made the right decision. I made the right decision because that's the decision I made. Nothing I can do now other than making another decision that maybe reverts that decision, but probably not. How else did I heal? I went through stages of, like, hating my ex. I went through, as I say, it's been a year, but I went through a stage where I was really sad and I missed him. And then I went through a stage where I thought I resented him because of stuff, and then I hated him. And now you get to a moment of indifference where it's like, no feeling because it happened. And that's it. I never regretted. And I don't think you should ever regret being with someone unless they physically do awful things to you. No comment. But I don't think you should ever regret a bad relationship, because you have to go through bad relationships. You have to go through good relationships. You have to go through relationships and their cycle, to learn from them. And it sounds really like, why do I need to go through something bad to learn from it? I should already know. No, baby, that's not how you actually genuinely have to physically learn from something. And so I think you should, another way that I healed and I would recommend is just to be full of forgiveness and full of, this is how my life is going. And there's no right way that it should have gone. There's no wrong way that it's going. It's just going. And those are what I say. I mean, you're a virgin. Forgot that big. You hearing that. But you are a virgin, apparently. Let me double check I've read that correctly, because it did say I'm not going to. I lost my virginity. I was quite young. We won't talk about the age, but I was quite young when I lost it. But I lost it to a boyfriend, and I had friends that lost it just because they wanted to lose it. And there's a big difference. And it may not be, because I know there's also the whole patriarchal thing that like a woman's virginity is protected. And if you take it in a specific way, then no, genuinely, it's the whole you as a person and the respect you demand, and that like virginity is a big thing. And I feel like we trivialize it a bit, because obviously sex is sometimes kind of like, sex. But virginity, your first time ever having sex is a big experience. And to have that just because your friends are having it and just to kind of throw it, because it's a moment that you will remember for the rest of your life, unless you trauma block it because you didn't do it in the right way, or unless it was taken from you in the wrong way. We won't get into that. But you will remember that moment for the rest of your life, because I remember mine. We won't get into it. But mine was with someone that I respected and they respected me at the time. And therefore, I will always remember that feeling of being respected and being in a safe space. And I feel like, do not force yourself to lose your virginity just because your friends have lost it in relationships that maybe are good or maybe are bad, just because they're losing it. Do you know what I mean? I know people that lost their virginity recently and they're my age. I know the people that lost them when they were teenagers, early teens. We won't say who they were. But it doesn't matter what age you lose it, as long as you lose it in a right. Whoa, ho, hey. Hey. Next one. Oh, we've got a fake name here. Okay, we've got a good fake name here. This fake name is Drac Adams. Now, how would I rate that fake name? Meh. Oh, like the Addams Family, but it's spelt with one D, and like Drac is in Dracula. Is that why? Either way, I'm not a big fan of it. But hey ho. Hi, Ayame. Love everything you do. Thank you. So I got an issue. I'm trying to become a ghost on this guy. When relationships end, I have a tendency of disappearing completely from the person's life, which is good, right? No. Well, we'll get into it. So here is the tea. I was in a relationship with this guy, perfect in every way, but his emotional intelligence was basically a rock type of level. So he wasn't perfect in every way. He's a dumbass. We dated for at least 4 to 5 months before he called it quits, because apparently asking for the bare minimum is demanding. Oh. She's a bit angry about it. Or they. I don't know whether you're a he or her or. Oh, P.S. It was a gay relationship. That's at the end. He. Anyway. Was devastated for a while, but I realized homeboy still got my shit. You speak in a very colloquial way. It's interesting. Contacted him to find a way to get my stuff back, but he always got excuses, and it's been almost 2 months now since the breakup. Amongst the stuff, there are a couple of expensive jewelry. Should I ghost without my jewelry or keep waiting on him to give me my shit? Is it his plot to keep me around or ploy? P.S. It was a gay relationship. Personally, if it's been 2 months and he still hasn't given your jewelry back, you're not getting that jewelry back. You know, it's giving, that's been sold, you know? That's what it's giving, because why should it take that long? I would say cut him out. I mean, it depends how expensive it is. If it was like a Van Cleef, let's rate which levels. If it's a Van Cleef, see, here's the thing is, if it's a Van Cleef, maybe, or you could just call the police and say you've been robbed. But that's a bit petty. If it's a Van Cleef, maybe. I mean, I personally wouldn't, because like it feels beggy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know it's your own stuff, but it feels beggy. It feels like you're actually, you know, that thing is like how I look asking for my friends to send me the pictures they took of me. And it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like a homeless man, that meme. That's what it's giving. And I know it's your own stuff, but you're giving homeless right now. Begging for your own stuff back. Because if you wanted to be, you know, forceful, that's less beggy. Like if you run up on him, less beggy. But I think the healed way to go about it is just to know that you will get another piece of expensive jewelry. Jewelry comes and goes. Look at this. My watch is actually out of date, out of time, because it's turned off now. I need to go and get the battery changed. Jewelry comes and goes. You can get another piece of expensive jewelry. You can date someone else that will buy you another piece of expensive jewelry. Your mental state, having to ask this person to give you access to their home, or just, they could, because here's how easy it is. They could put it in an envelope and post it to you. Easy. They could put it in an Uber. You could arrange for an Uber to pick it up. They put it in the Uber. Easy. You could literally pop by anyways. Easy. They are home moments where you could go and pop by. There's a reason that you're not getting your jewelry back. So do you want to carry on wasting your time trying to get that jewelry back, keeping this person in your life? Or do you just want to move on with your life? Go back on Grindr. Do you know what I mean? Spend your time on Grindr. Find someone new to get you a new Van Cleef. Anyway. So you've put your fake name as right, okay. Fuck. No. But I'm annoyed. This is a time to be fun and jolly, and you haven't given a real fake name, but I'll read it anyway. Or maybe I should just not read it as punishment. Yep, you've been punished. Next we have... James, haha. Or James, ha. I don't know. They put James, fake name, James, haha. Or like, fake name is just James, and they're like, James, lol. Anyway, message. He, him, cisgender, straight. Good to know. So he said, I want to stop being a mama's boy. Everything I do is I have to ask mum first, or I can't, my mum won't let me, or I want to move out, but as the firstborn, it'll rip her heart out. I truly love my mother down, but I'm being suffocated by her. Any advice? Again, punctuation, because you've written, I'm being suffocated by her. Any advice? As opposed to, I'm being suffocated by her, comma. Any advice? You know what I mean? So James, this is a really stupid question. Because if you want to stop being a mother's boy, here's what you can do. Stop. All right. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say, James? What do you want me to say? Maybe speak to your mum. No. If you want to stop being a mother's boy and make your own decisions, how about you just make your own decisions? Let me calm down, James, because you're just a little baby boy. But if you want to stop asking your mum questions about everything, here's what you can do. Stop asking your mum questions about everything. If you have a decision to make the decision. Or maybe change to another person. As in, because I will say, I'm a mother's boy, but for my best friend. How does that make sense? I have to run everything past my best friend before I do anything. I think that's a safe way to live. So why don't you just find a best friend that you can just do that and ask advice for? Because also your mother is your mother. And this is the thing as well, because I went on this show. Oh. Sorry, it's my fat ass. I went on this show where one of the topics we were discussing was bringing your mum, like how involved should your mum be in your dating. And one thing you really have to, I love my mum. That felt like a lie. I do love my mum. I know. I do. I love my mum. But I know that any decision or any advice I ask from my mum, and historically I've ever asked from my mum, there will always be in the back of her head when she's giving me advice, how she wants me to take that advice. And let me see if I can explain that a bit further. Any advice, there's always especially with parents when they're giving you advice, and if it's like, oh, I'm dating someone and I have to run them past my parents, or I have a decision of whether or not I'm going to uni or which uni I'm going to and I'm running past my parents. The advice that they give you will always have them at the forefront of their mind, and they don't do it on purpose. It's just very much subconscious that they want you to follow their advice for how they would do it. And that's not how you should live your life. You can take advice from people, from your mother. I'm sure she's great at giving advice. I'm sure she makes a good cup of tea. She's a great woman, I'm sure. Well, we don't know. But no, mothers? You want to talk about mothers? I'm sure she's great. But just know that when you're taking your mother's advice over your own or over someone else's, you're taking what your mother wants you to do, not what your mother thinks. Because your mother will, here's the thing, because there's always that line of, oh, my mother knows what's best for me and she'll know who's good for me, da da da. No, your mother knows what's best for her, and therefore what's best for you by default. And your mother knows who's good for her, and therefore who's good for you by default. And she does, and I'm not saying in a narcissistic way she's doing it on purpose. Sometimes they are. But it's always, your mother will always put herself at the forefront. Most people do. And it's this whole thing about mothers as selfless. Not always. It's very subconsciously not selfless. It's a very difficult concept to explain. I don't know if I'm explaining it well. Yeah, okay. Long story short, stop being a mother's boy. Make your own decisions, you twat. Love you. Anyway, that's it for today, because really and truly, this is what else is there to talk about? President Trump is the president. Well, we've got to call him President Trump now. We can't even do the sassy thing anymore where we're like former President Trump. Or Trump. Not my president. Donald Trump has won the presidency for January 2025 onwards. And there's not much we can do about it. But we've got to stay positive. Anyway, goodbye.